Yes. Did you not grab one yesterday?
Oh, I did.
Okay. There's one right here. You can come grab it.
Mars, Jupiter.
Why?
Big. You got a whole entire planet to yourself. Mars, you can only do so much.
It
Jupiter,
doesn't say by yourself.
what would you rather live?
Okay,
Not would we.
But if everyone else chooses Jupiter, you're not living by yourself.
Why are they choosing Jupiter? It's gonna be cold. What are they gonna do on Jupiter?
I don't know.
Mars got frozen water. They could go play on the lake.
I don't know.
It's like,
Oh, shut up. That's not cooking anything, bro.
So let's start with the first page. We'll give you a couple from each page and move on. Any on the first page we want to see, do go over, have questions about. And number 2. 12. Okay. I said this in class, but it doesn't say it on the thing. With all of these, make sure you're practicing your interval notation with the parentheses, the square brackets to infinity. So for this one, distribute the 6. So we have negative 18a plus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 7a minus 27. Then you can pick and choose what you want to move. What do we want to move there? 6. Okay. So subtract 6 on both sides, and add 7a on both sides. Negative 11a is greater than or equal to negative 33. Divide both sides by negative 11. The sign changes direction and is now a positive 3. So if I were to graph that, I would start at 3, it would be closed, and it would be going to the left. If I made my interval notation, that would start at negative infinity and stop at 3, and it's closed, so square bracket. Questions on that one? Number 12. When you have multiple choice, you could really pick one of these numbers and put them in for all the x's and see which one is true, or you could solve it so that one's really up to you. If we were solving it, we would distribute 7x plus 4x minus 64. And then combine like terms. What was that? 56 minus 64. 56 minus 64.
Oh,
I know that wasn't
negative.
negative 8. So if we were to divide both sides by 71, we should get negative 1. So remember that this you can take and flip, and it should be the same direction as this. Oh, I changed the sign.
What's harder?
Yeah, so if we were doing the interval notation, that would start at, so you could think about this on a number line, or you could draw a number line for this one. It would start at negative 1, is closed, bracket, and it's going to keep going to infinity. Other questions on this page before we go on to the next one? Go on to the next one. did actually number these pages, but some of the numbers are hard to see. But for this page number 2, questions on this page? We do have some compound and absolute value at the bottom. Do we have questions about any of those before we go on to page 3? 22. Okay, so we have absolute value. So isolate the absolute value bars, get rid of 7. This is a greater than, so that's going to be your OR. So drop the absolute value, keep one case the same. Set up your second case, change the direction of the sign, and make the 8 negative. And solve both. Remember, your ORs should look like this, graphing apart from each other. So these are both going to be open, one at -4, one at +4, going in opposite directions.
Why is it O?
Greater than inequality, absolute value, inequalities are ORs. But also, as you set up your cases and if you went to graph this, you would see that these wouldn't overlap. They would go apart from each other. So that would also tell you OR. And then your interval notation starts at -infinity, stops at -4. Make sure you have the word OR. Starts again at 4, ends at infinity. Everything is parentheses. Other questions on this page? Alright, go on to page 3. Questions on that page? Go on to page 4. Questions on that page?
Is it 35?
So in this word problem, Victoria is going bowling. The cost per game is $3.50. Victoria will need to rent a pair of bowling shoes for $2.50. She can spend up to $22 and to bowl and rent a pair of shoes. And we're looking for the maximum number of games that Victoria can bowl. So we need a variable. What do we want to call it? B for what? What does B represent?
Number.
Number of games. Right, let's start with if she can spend up to $22. So that's not one of your inequality words, but she can't spend more than what she has. So that's going to be which symbol? Less than or equal to. Because we can spend $22, we just can't spend $22.01. Right? We know the cost per game is $350, and she needs to rent a pair of bowling shoes for $250. How could we set up inequality?
3.5 B. 2.5.
And if you switch those, that's also okay, as long as you put B with 3.5. So then let's solve that. Get rid of 2.5. What is that, 19.5? And divide. And tell me what that is. What'd you get?
It's long. No, that's long.
So tell me like the first three.
5.571.
We can't bowl .571 of a game, so we either have to round up or round down. Which one would we do? So if I rounded up to 6, would she have enough money still?
No.
We'd have to round down. She can bowl no more than 5 games. And then she'll probably have a couple dollars left over. Okay. Other questions on this page? I forgot what page we're on. 4, 5. What number is this? 4. Okay, go on to the next one. 5. Do we have questions on either of these?
$38.
39. 38. Right. Lisa enjoys gardening. Every sunflower plant she requires requires 0.7 liters of water. And every lily plant she waters requires 0.5 liters of water. She has a total of 11 liters of water for these plants. Write an inequality using S to represent the number of sunflower plants. And that she can water, and L to represent the number of lily plants that she can water. So let's do that part first. They gave us our variables. So if we were to set this up, it'll be like our system since we have 2 variables. And we know she has a total of 11. It'll be like our systems, but we will only have one inequality. So she has a total of 11. The at most. So we'll hold off on the symbol until we get to down here. But we could put the rest of it together. 0.7 S plus 0.5 L. Then in the actual problem, it says she waters 10 lily plants, so we're going to put 10 in for L. And we need to know how many sunflower plants can she water at most. So at most is which symbol?
39.
Less than. So use this and put 10 in for L. And then we can solve for S. When we divide, what is that?
2.57. 1.
Okay, so would that be 8 or 9?
So why would that be 9?
If we put 9 in, then she wouldn't have enough water to plant. Even though she could get more water, but theoretically they're saying this is as much water as she's doing today, I guess. Okay. Go on to page 6. More compound inequalities. 40. Any others on the page? Okay. So this is an OR inequality. Solve both of them separately. Do it one thing at a time. So I'm going to focus on this one. Move one of the variables to the other side. Let's say I get rid of 2b. So I have b minus 5, and I'm going to add 5 at the same time. Sorry. So b is greater than or equal to 7. Then if I focus on the other one, and let's say I subtract 3b and add 5, we have negative b is greater than 4, but have to divide out the negative 1. Then we have b is greater than or equal to 7, or b is less than negative 4. So that would be open at negative 4 going to the left, and close at 7 going to the right. And that interval notation would start at negative infinity, stop at negative 4, parentheses, or start again at 7, bracket, and go to infinity, parentheses.
Wait, when do you put like both brackets?
You mean like for two numbers?
Also, they both have to be numbers for like 2 brackets?
Yeah, so brackets only go on numbers, not infinities. But if they were both closed. Other questions on this page? Okay, go on to page 7. Now, some absolute value inequalities. Any of those we want to see, do go over, have questions about? Page 8. Now we're on our graphing linear inequalities. Remember, this and systems are no calculator. Questions on any of those? Page 9. Did you have 11. I can want either of those. Page 12. Or 13. We're just going to take this at the side. Okay. I just want to make sure I get all questions answered if you have any. Or 14. For the rest of the class, if you don't have any other questions, you guys can be working on your review, working on Delta Math, practicing for your quiz tomorrow. And then next week, we don't have school Monday, but we're going to go over the quiz on Tuesday. You guys will take the test on Wednesday. And then we'll have flex day Thursday, Friday.
Okay, so use this time to practice.